Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, fellow acolytes and C++ interested people. Now, a little bit different episode of something, if you know this channel, because normally I'm all about the games, but lately I finished my computer science course in university, and it included some basics of C++, and during the course I already had the idea, wait, I have fun with this, and in today's time it is really a nice tool to have if you can write your own programs with C++ or create your own data with C++, especially if you're doing something like if you're a scientist by yourself, you probably already know a little bit of C++, because most scientists, as they create experimental data, so their own data that is unpredictable, they need to process it somehow, and so they often write some programs. So it came to my mind that I wanted to make a little tutorial series for C++ that is made for everyone, not only scientists, but for everyone. And I want to teach you the absolute bare basics. So I'm in no ways a pro or whatsoever, but over the course of half a year, I want to teach you some basics for C++, which will enable you to write your own simple programs. We won't handle Windows here, so you can in C++ you can make your own Windows apps or Windows.exe files. We are not doing that here. We are doing console or terminal stuff here. So basically, if you open a terminal in Windows normal, like that, that's how our C++ programs will look like. But over the course of these episodes, you will learn how to handle variables, how to handle basic arrays, how to handle outputting your data in a text file, how to handle inputting your data into a text file, and perhaps a little bit about dynamic saving of data and reading, so dynamic exporting or importing. Let's see how far we're gonna take this. So the way how I think I'll design these episodes, apart from this first episode, is we are gonna get a problem or a question, and I'll go through the question with you, and we'll build an algorithm how to tackle this specific problem. And yeah, then I'll make a 5 or 10 second break into the video. So if you want to code along at home, or if you have your own ideas, then you can do it, and then you can unpause the video and I'll show you the solution and explain it a little bit. So depending on the problem, the length of the episodes will be between 5 or 15 minutes, perhaps a little bit longer, as problems of course will get harder to crack with every episode. But let's see how it goes. So for today's episode, I just want to show you what you have to look out for on using Visual Studio on Windows. You can of course use your own compiler or your own environment. So if you are on Linux, you can use Qt or CodeBlocks or the G++ compiler if you are really really courageous. But yeah, if you are on Linux and already use the G++ compiler, I guess you are more of a C++ expert than I am, really. But in this programming tutorial, it's all about compatibility. Oh, I messed that word up. So everything we are programming here is probably compatible with every platform you're on. So Mac or even Linux. And that's because I, for myself, used Visual Studio, but in my university, unfortunately, we are using Linux, and I'm not the greatest Linux fan, I have to say. But yeah, so we often, in our first attempts of programming, had the problem that our programs, which ran under Windows, because Windows fixes small errors by itself, suddenly didn't work anymore under Linux. So yeah, we will keep that in mind. Alright, so also I'll let go of the face cam for these episodes because we need the screen space, and I think you'll be fine just hearing my voice, I guess. And this is not really gameplay where you can see reactions, perhaps if you get a major error, whoa! But yeah. Okay, so today's episode is all about installing C++ or Visual Studio or something else. So I'll put an annotation in there for you, which you can click, where I can tell you to skip if you already have an environment or a compiler. And I'll see you on the other side. But so, for the people of you that are just, I think, bloody beginners and just are interested in a little bit of C++ or want to pick up a new programming language or never have programmed before, if you are on Windows or Mac, I can only recommend the Visual Studio community because it's free. So you just type into your browser or into Google if you are not using Firefox or Chrome, Visual Studio, perhaps community because there are older versions, and then you just click the first entry, perhaps, and you'll land on this site. And then you can just click download Visual Studio community, and it will download a nice little web installer if you want to. Right. I think, yes, I have to allow some scripts here on this page for it to work. And right, there we go. VS Community Exe. Alright, so it's a web installer, and in the web installer you can just follow the screen instructions. You can install anywhere you want. Just make sure you install C++ as well. So if there is like a list where you can choose from environments, make sure you install C++. If not, you will see what happens in a few seconds. So after installing Visual Studio, I cannot show you the install process because I've got an Enterprise edition here. We'll just start it. Oh right, that's the installer. Of course, I want the Visual Studio 2017. And this is what it looks. So let's make this a little bit larger. Alright, so you already see, you probably won't see the recent tab, but you will see new project or open. So either way, you can click on empty project here if you have something standing here. I think this will pop up as soon you have your first project done. Because my Visual Studio knows me, it knows that I'm working with C++. You can click on create new project here, or you go to the top left and click new, file, new, and then project. Or you hit Control, Shift and N. So we click on New Project, and probably for you it will look like that. So you see your installed languages, Visual C Sharp. It's the flagship of Microsoft, the new soon-to-be flagship. But we'll click on other languages, and then you have here a nice list, and we click Visual C++, and we don't even need these further enhanced filter options. You can click on Windows Desktop, but it's alright if you just click C++ and hit Windows Console Application. Okay, then you have to specify a path. So let's browse a little bit, and I'll just create a new path into my YouTube directory. So let's see, C++ tutorials, right? So we choose this folder, C++ tutorials. Okay, and then we just have to name our project. So for all of you that are already a little bit skilled in programming, you know what comes next. So please don't roll your eyes, everyone. For the beginners, we'll call this program Hello World. Right? So every time you want to start programming in a new language, you can probably just type in the name of the language, like C++, into Google and followed by Hello World, and you will find a nice tutorial which serves as a little lookout into the world of C++. But we'll do it from scratch here because I want to show you some quirks of the Windows C++. So our project gets created, and we are greeted with this screen. So now you see here in line 4 we have #include stdafx.h, and this is the standard header that's precompiled, which Windows adds in Visual Studio. No other program that I know does that, and you have to disable it if you want to run your program under Linux. But if you just delete this line and save your program, then firstly it won't run, and secondly, if you run it, it will give you a nice little error. So yeah, now a normal person would include standard C++ includes. So for today's project we need #include IO stream, and as you can see, that's one of the advantages of Visual Studio. You have IntelliSense, and what it does is it gives you some or all things to choose from as you type away. So IO S, and you can see IO stream. So you can hit what you want and press tab, and it will insert it for you. And as you can see, while we are typing down here, you will also get errors and error codes. And this one says expected a file name, of course, because we want to include something, and it's in line 4. If you double click it, the cursor will move to line 4. So that's IntelliSense for you, and I think it's a pretty neat tool for beginning programmers. Alright, we include IO stream, and that's it. And now we basically can run our problem. No, we still get errors. But why? Because we are programming with, well, from the scratch, basically. We have to put something else, and this is, you can put this below your includes or top. I'll put it below. and this is using namespace std. And what this does is, if we write a function like, I don't know, cout, right, and then blah, this cout is now fine and dandy. But if we are not using namespace std, we get red underline, and it's an error because we have to write std and then 2 times the double pointer, and then it works as well. So you're just making your life a little bit more easy if you type using namespace std. And this is the same over all platforms. So for today's program, we need the include of IOStream. IOStream is input-output stream, and we want to output something. And we are using the namespace std, which means standard. So, right. If you want to remember this and you don't have a good memory, so I am forgetting everything, just make a comment. A comment is 2 slashes after each other, and then you can write standard namespace. Oh, I cannot type space for C++. Quality of life tool. We would have to use std delete, and then let's say lament otherwise. So this is nice. And for today's program, IOStream, basic input and output. Oops, input output operations. All right, there's one more thing you have to do, and this is click on project and click on your project name properties, then click on C++ precompiled headers, and instead of use, click off not using precompiled headers. I'll leave it on right now and see if it's still working. No, right. We got error down here, and oh, well, that's not an error. Right, did I forget the semicolon again? But I think for include, yeah, okay. Unexpected end of file while looking for precompiled header. Did you forget include std afx.h to your source? Yes, we did not forget it. We don't want it, because if we use it, this program will only run on Windows computers. So again, properties of your project and C++ precompiled headers, and we are not using them. Unfortunately, you cannot put this option as a standard option for your projects that you create. So yeah, that's that. The error code will remain, I think, a little bit. It will go away as soon as you compile your program. Okay, so I got a little ahead of myself. If starting a program, you always got one thing that's always there, in most compilers anyway, and this is the int main. And these 2 brackets mean you've got a function here. So we are in the main function of the game, of the program. And what this means is everything the program shows to the user happens here. So I could very well write another function, let's say just test in here, and have it like that, and say return 0. And it wouldn't work. Or it would work. Right, we have no definition for test, but either way, you can start your own functions. And the thing is, if you put code in here, it will work, but only if you call this function. And functions are a theme we'll handle a little bit later. So for now, it just has to suffice if I tell you the int main function is the function of your program where everything happens. All right. So now if you click on display button here, you will probably see a short console window opening and closing again. This is Windows and normal, and what it does is, as it reaches the end of the program, it closes the console window. So if you want to compile your program, hitting play or pressing F5 is the same thing. But if you press Ctrl 5, so this opens the debugger, you get a nice console window which stays open. And of course, it only says in German here, press any key to continue. And that's because our program has nothing else than return 0. Alright, so we want to print something onto our screen. So what do we do to print something on our screen? We say cout. And what does cout do? Cout says C for language C and output. So we put something out. If you use it like this in a basic manner, it will output into the console. So then you have to add two angle brackets, I guess. We are calling them dreieckige Klammer. Yeah, so triangle brackets probably. And then we want to have some text. So if we let's do it just like a beginner would. Let's say we want to write hello world, and as you can see, the IntelliSense is going mad right now with us typing. Don't forget the semicolon at the end. And you get an error. Identifier hello is unidentified and expected a semicolon between hello and world. That's weird. Yeah. So if you want to put out text, you have to make your text marks like these, and then you can write inside these text marks hello world. Alright, no errors whatsoever. And now if we hit Ctrl F5, hey, we got hello world, and then press any key after it. So that's not very tidy. So let's go with another command here, and you can just add new commands as you like if you want to, with another piece of angle brackets and a new command. And the new command is endl. And endl, what endl does, it means end line. And what this does is, after we put out hello world into our console, we put out an end line command. And what this tells the program is just to start a new line. So if we compile our program again with Ctrl F5, we have hello world and now a new nice line. So you can even play with this a little bit and write what the fuck, what the fuck, this is a test message, right? and you need the speech marks. Okay, now we can compile this, and of course we got our new message here, and it's already untidy. So if you want to make a new line, you can either add the end line command in between your messages, or you could use text formatting like \n. Now let's see. All right. Yeah. So you put this inside your text markings. If you put it outside, you'll get an error. All right. So put these comments into your text. So \n means new line. It's the same as end line, and you don't have to add a new angle brackets and a comment. But of course, if you have a lot of text, it can get messy pretty fast. So it's your decision what you want to use. You can even use another comment if you want. So \t, and then write on. This is one tab further, I think. Right, as you can see, we have what the fuck, this is a test message, and then we have \t, and what this does is it gives you a little tab, like if you press tab in Windows Word, and this is one tab further. Okay, and keep in mind these blank spaces, or just space, is indeed space in the text, so you can delete these and have it written out like this, and it would still work. All right, so the program knows when to insert a tab. So keep that in mind if you insert tabs and have some funky formatting going on. We'll need that later. All right. Oops. Right. Semicolon at the end of most of each line. You can test it out, but most of the time, if you delete your semicolons, you get an error, and sometimes not. Sometimes you get one, like using namespace std. Right, it'll tell you expected a semicolon. So most programming errors in the world are there because somebody forgot his semicolon after a line there. So always check if you got the semicolons. Also, C++ shows you if you write something new, or if you have new lines, you see these yellow lines. What this means, all of the yellow stuff is not saved yet. And you see also a little star next to your project data or project name. And as soon as you hit Control S, you save your project and everything is green and everything is fine. Right, so this is it for this small tutorial. We already got half an hour on the clock, but I wanted to explain everything to you. And I hope you're definitely interested in a bit of programming of C++. And if so, check back with this channel. I'll put out 1 or 2 C++ videos per week, and I'll put them out on Saturday, I guess. So you can have a nice little programming session on a weekend if you have some time to kill and want to learn about C++. So yeah, this of course is not really a complex program, but for you it probably was pretty complex if you're new to programming stuff. So if you have any questions, don't be shy, write a comment, or all the better, join the Discord. I'll make a C++ channel and you can write your questions in there, and also put your code snippets in there or upload your code snippets. You can just mark this stuff and put it into a text file, and then chuck it into the Discord channel, and I'll take a look at it and probably tell you what's wrong with your code. But yeah, basically you can be proud of yourself because you wrote your own first program today, and this makes you a beginner or a starting programmer for C++. And now that you're in here, you won't get out that far, hopefully, because this is a world that opens up a lot of new tools and you can do a lot of good stuff with it. And in the next episode, we'll talk about variables and do our first math program. So definitely stay tuned, and yeah, stay happy, experiment with your program. If you like the video, like the video. If you don't want to miss any videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. It's very important these days because YouTube and the subscription feed are not exactly tidy anymore. So yeah, I've got to tell you, subscribe and hit the bell. Alright, so this is it for today. I hope you learned something. See you in the next video. Bye bye.